Good day everyone, GarageKing here, and today we're going to do the oil change on a Chevy Cruze. This one here is a 2017, but 2011 to 2019 are all the same. You can see by the filler cap there, it takes 5W30. And down right in there, that is where the oil filter is. It's a cartridge type. Now this engine here, this is a 1.4 liter turbocharged, but they're all pretty much the same. And you know what, when in doubt, check your owner's manual just to make sure you have the right viscosity. This 5W30 rating, this is for Canada. So perhaps if you live in another climate, the manufacturer, which is Chevrolet, may recommend something else. So when in doubt, just check your owner's manual. Anyway, let's keep on moving here. Tried to save a few dollars here, so I got a Defense oil filter. This one here is a DL10246. Now keep in mind the 10246 can be crossed over to other manufacturers such as Fram, etc. And if you were paying attention, you would notice in that filter box there were some O-rings. Make sure you save those O-rings because we are going to need them later. Now that we have the oil filter out, what we're going to do is go to the bench and we're going to use one of those O-rings we just spoke about. Here you can see I'm using a pick and I'm just pulling off the old O-ring. Now you can reuse them, but you really shouldn't because sometimes they can leak. So most filters, they'll just come with a new O-ring. So what the heck, may as well put one on to prevent any leaks. And for those of you wondering about torque specs, 25 Newton meters is the torque that you should be tightening that plastic housing down. Don't tighten it too much because it is just plastic and you don't want to crack it or you don't want to break it. Now, if you noticed in the kit, there was actually two O-rings, a bigger one and a smaller one. You can see we use the bigger one on the housing. The smaller one you can just discard. It is for different applications, but because the oil filter is used on a wide variety of applications, it comes with two. So don't worry about that. You don't have to use the small one. So here you can see I'm tightening up the oil filter housing. And once that's done, we're gonna go underneath. And you know what? This oil drain plug has a small head. It's just a 10 millimeter and it tends to strip, you can see. There, it's stripped with a 12 point. I just can't get it off. So luckily, I was able to crack it free with a 6 point. And I'm definitely going to replace that because I don't want anybody to have to, not be able to get this drain plug out. So I was able to get it out and I want to make it nice for the next person. So here's a part number made in Germany, 555-680-37. And there's a good shot of the bolt. You can see it is just rounded. Someone before applied too much torque with, I guess, a 12 point. And we definitely don't want to put it back in like that. So here's the new one. You can see it is by General Motors. It's very good quality. Like I mentioned earlier, made in Germany. It's not cheap, but I was able to source one out on Amazon for quite a bit cheaper, only $10 on Amazon. I'll throw up the link. I can't guarantee it's going to be the same quality as a General Motors drain plug, but I'm sure it's going to work just fine because there is a built-in rubber gasket. So just FYI, when you're under your Chevy Cruze, check that drain plug. And once again, the torque on the drain plug is 14 Newton meters. So now we have our 5W30 oil. It is ESP, so Emission Systems Protection Oil. That's what GM recommends. So this is Dexos 2 rated. Now what I do when I'm not sure, because I didn't have the owner's manual for this vehicle, is I'll always put some oil in. And then what I do is I just kind of keep checking it. And then once I'm done, then I'll actually run it. And you can see here, we're at a good level. So what we're gonna do is put the cap on and we're gonna run it. And when you do this step, make sure you run it for a good minute or so. You can also look on the dash and make sure that your oil pressure light does in fact go out. It's also a good time to check for leaks. So check on the bottom, make sure that you have no leaks. And then once we shut the engine off, we're going to check the oil level. Now here you can see it looks low on one side and high on the other side. And I just wanted to point this out just so you would know to check both sides of the dipstick, because just depending on how it goes down into the engine, you can get a false reading. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to top up our oil to make sure it's perfect. And lastly, we have to reset the oil light. So with your ignition on, go to the turn signal lever and you will see a menu button. You can press that menu button and you can scroll through a number of things. So you will push it until you see your oil, and you can see here we only have 8%. Then we're gonna press the end and hold it to set clear. It says, do we want to? We're gonna twist up on the stock. That goes to yes. We're going to again push the end button. We're gonna hold it, and there you can see reset to 100%. And we are done, so that concludes the video. Hopefully I will see you next week. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. GarageKing over and out.